Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Armin Some BS. This one is going to be very Spider-Man centric. No surprise, right? So let's just roll that intro.
I don't have a theme song, so this is a placeholder.
So we're back, and it's an interesting time to be a fan of Spider-Man. On one hand, The Amazing Spider-Man is over, so yay! We didn't get the third one in 2016 like we should have. And the two spin-off movies we were supposed to get this year in 2017, so that's good. On the other hand, he's back at Disney, sort of. Obviously, Spider-Man Homecoming is coming at us, and that's a joint partnership between Disney, Sony, Marvel. Click it together for the benefit of the fans, and Sony not tanking. They're saying, yeah, here you go, here's Spider-Man, please let our studio not tank. And this is going to take a little bit of explaining. So, years ago on a podcast, I said, and this is before financials were out, and I knew they were coming, so I was like, listen, Spider-Man makes more money than Batman, Superman, and the Avengers combined. And then the reports came out, and it was true. Spider-Man is the #1 hottest selling toy in the world every year. It's Spider-Man, and that's big. And Sony really messed up when they went from being a big studio to a small one because they sold the merchandising rights back because they thought only the movies were worth it. Clearly, they made a mistake. Sony dumped that back to Disney, and Disney's like, sure, we'll make a ton of money off Spider-Man, whatever you guys are doing, sure. And truth be told, Sony was in trouble due to the PlayStation 3 and the mismanagement that was happening with that system and the wording of how they choose to push the system out. On the other hand of that, you have Sony, who was in 2000s the #1 company in the world, the biggest company in the world when it came to electronics. Like, Apple wasn't the Apple we know today. Sony was like riding high. You went to Sony if you wanted quality. Today, you go to Sony if you want video games. You don't buy their laptops. You don't buy their phones. You're not buying their TVs. You're certainly as hell not watching their movies because those are tanking left and right. And this all comes at the last couple days. We've heard rumors that, guess what's not going to be around anymore? Spider-Man with Sony. Disney's looking to buy him back. This is true. Of course Disney's looking to buy him back. They want Spider-Man back. It's Spider-Man, right? But we got to take a step back. Spider-Man is the most important character in Marvel. He really is. He's the Batman of he's the Batman to DC. Like, he's important, right? Batman's like, oh, look, I'm Batman. DC's like, yeah, you are. You're coming in everything. Toss Batman in there. Toss Batman over there. Toss Batman over there. Spider-Man! Toss Spider-Man over there, toss Spider-Man over here, right? It's Spider-Man. You just want to toss him wherever you can because that's how it goes. So when you really think about that, you got to think about the logistics behind it. So Disney's going to obviously want to take Spidey back at some point. We don't know how they're going to do it. They could do it when Sony's going bankrupt with their movies, who knows? But then after these reports came out, Sony was also out there going, well, our movies aren't doing too good, guys. They lost over $1 billion last year, 2016 fiscal year. The fiscal year ends a little bit after the new year. It's different for media, but anyway, and that's a problem. You lost $1 billion, and you put out a ton of movies. So think of that. They didn't make a profit on any movie, and they lost an extra $1 billion. So if you let's say they invested, hypothetically, they invested $2 billion to make movies. They didn't make $2 billion back, plus they went into the negative and lost another $1 billion. So they spent $2 billion, they owe $3 billion. What? How the fuck are you still alive? But then Sony comes out and says, we're not shutting down movies, those rumors, I tell you. We're gonna shut down, oh shit. Boo! 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 Fucking sound the Rogue One alarms. That's what's happening at Sony. They're sounding those Rogue One alarms. Fucking Forrest Whitaker is like, oh shit, his eyes twitching, he's running, fucking everybody's running. I'm sorry, Sony, you're fucked. And here's what's holding them. Here's why Sony is not shutting down right now. Spider-Man. That's the honest truth. They have nothing going into 2017. Their biggest movie is Spider-Man. So guess what? Everything hinges on Spider-Man. If Homecoming comes out it's being produced for a cheap budget compared to the other ones, and makes $1 billion, Sony stays afloat. But let's look at it the other way. Homecoming comes out, maybe it tanks. Spider-Man is dead in the water, Disney regains the rights. So now ask yourself the question of, what do you want? Do you want Spider-Man Homecoming to be a success and Sony to stay alive with the film division? Or do you want it to bomb and Sony buys back Spider-Man? But then we're probably getting the end of that series, right? Because it bombed. So, let's be real. A year from now, if Spider-Man Homecoming doesn't do so well, and if Spider-Man's, market is brought down, Sony will probably be shutting their doors when it comes to film division. And they'll only have the games division, which is good. That's their highest mark. They're the best at it, so why not? But you really got to think about that, though. So, hopefully this explained it to you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below.
Hey guys, Armin here, just reminding you that this video was made possible thanks to patrons. If you guys are interested in supporting us and making sure we keep the lights on, check out our Patreon where you can join other fans in supporting the CBC, delivering content you guys have come to love and expect. And if you can't do that, give us a like and a subscribe. That goes a long way too.